Welcome to Fire Your Doctor, Season 2, Episode 31.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Richard Lockwood.
Hey.
I'm Danielle Lockwood.
Whatever.
I'm Dr. Danielle Lockwood.
Like, why are you looking me up and down? What is this?
In case you don't know, my friends call me Dr. Dani.
Wow.
Isn't that fun?
You have friends?
Okay, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about burnout. Burnout is not a personality flaw. High capacity people break down first.
What do you mean break down first?
Well, why? Why do they?
Oh, why do they break down?
Why high capacity people break down first?
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Burnout. It's not weakness. It's a biological adaptation to prolonged stress in capable, driven people who ignore limits for too long. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that would mean they'd burn out last, but I don't know. I'm overthinking it.
Well, depends on which stage you're getting them at. I guess that's the
When they see us.
When they see us, they break down first.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Who burns out first? High achievers.
Quitters.
Caregivers, leaders, ministry workers, the people everyone depends on. Burnout as competence without recovery. Burnout as competence without recovery. I don't know why I wrote that.
That's a weird sentence.
It's a weird sentence. Burnout are people who overcompensate and they don't take time to fully recover. They might recover enough, but then they
I think that's a tough
push back
one.
out. It's really hard. I am in
Because
this category. I really am.
If you never push yourself at all, you're lazy. And so I think there's this, how do we even describe it? There was this comedian that did these kind of impressions of, I don't know, just kind of hipster people that they would encounter. And there was this one that was just always just kind of like, just kind of flaky, never really applying themselves in life. And it was just like, well, hey, what'd you do today? Did you go to work? Did you get outside? It's just like, you know what? I chose to honor myself. So I'm just going to hang back. And there's this duality where
most of them are probably named Ripple.
Yeah, right. There you go. You get
or
it.
Joplin.
God bless Ripple and Joplin.
If you're out there, Ripple or Joplin,
yeah.
Jesus loves you too.
Just kind of this thing where it's hard sometimes to balance achievement and actually going out, trying hard, getting your hands dirty, really trying at life, and just knowing when to set it down.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, because we talked about in the last episode that your nervous system, if it's stuck in that fight, flight, freeze pattern, it is going to be very difficult to heal because the body is just getting a signal, hey, we're still in danger. We're not done running from the proverbial lion. What are we doing? And it just won't heal. It doesn't digest. Your food doesn't digest. Like, it's kind of a mess.
But there's also this idea of, say, distress versus eustress, in that if you never stress yourself at all, it's just, what are you even living for?
But if you have chronic cortisol, is going to be high until it's not, until it falls off a cliff and your adrenaline is in overload and it leads to collapse.
Sure.
And that's where the pancake comes in. You're flat as a pancake because you've just collapsed.
That's going to raise your blood
This is interesting. Fawn, because there's fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and those
this is
are
getting too long.
There's too many F's.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But you like the alliteration.
I do like a good alliteration. Actually, see, alliteration is repetition of a consonant sound, but nobody really ever does assonance, which is repetition of vowel sound.
I'm going to slow blink at you. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Spontaneous offering.
You're teasing me now.
This is interesting. Fawn as the response for a person who's an overgiver, people pleaser. Do you know any people pleaser, overgiver people? I can be this way. I'm not. This isn't my main thing now, but I have a tendency to do this.
You can please me if you want. I like attention, and you can fawn on me.
Oh, Richard.
This is great.
But the fawn, so caregivers and their worth is wrapped up in how much they're actually. And some people, I mean, we want people to be givers, right? We want people to be caregivers and take care of others. But what's the limit?
Is that rhetorical?
No, I'm asking. Like how
identity.
Yeah, when it becomes part of who they are. I am a giver. This is what I do. Don't take it away from me. Because it can be even like, that's where people turn into a little bit of like the helicopter moms and that turns into a pathological control mechanism for everybody in their life.
Yeah, I guess that's the other thing is when we were talking about this spiritual concept of idols and altars are a place of exchange. It's like okay, so I am fawning in this hypothetical and I am overgiving and I am people pleasing. Maybe I'm acting in a codependent relationship and like there's this evil monster that is the alcoholic and I am the giving one. It's like
Mhm.
I am kind of bleeding out, giving up personal resources, giving up emotional health and stuff like that. But like, well, no, it's an altar and there's an exchange. So what do I get out of that? I get to be the good guy. I
Mhm.
would in that situation, which is not you, but hypothetically, I would always be the good guy. It's like, well, I am this noble hero and I am just, look at me. This, my whatever girlfriend or whatever is just there, just drinking all the time and they're doing all this irresponsible. So I'm always the good guy and I don't really have to grow as a person anymore
That's true.
because they're so bad that, okay, great.
And they're so worried about other people's issues and
That I never
problems
have to
that you
worry about
never have
me.
to self-reflect on what actually brings you joy.
Where am I going? And then I could also use that as kind of cover to where I don't have to look at like, why do I feel like this is what I deserve
Mm.
in a relationship? Maybe going and finding somebody that would treat me better and that wouldn't be involved in that substance abuse or whatever. Like maybe that would require something of me.
Yeah.
Like I would have to invest in myself or invest in my future or something like that in a way that I wouldn't here.
And okay, so let's make a distinction because there's that pathological codependency, which we've spoke
Sure.
about before. And there's also just I wanted my kids to have a really good Christmas. So I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure the presents are wrapped beautifully and we take them on to go look at Christmas lights and we do all the things. Where's the balance? Like, when is it, again, I want to do those things. Those are good, but I did get a little burnt out. I'm not going to lie.
You don't know where that line is until you cross it.
Mm.
And we ran into actually real talk now, real life. We ran into that where there's a lot of gifts sent and some of those gifts like spend a lot of time wrapping and it's like, okay, 10, 15 minutes per present times 10 or 15 presents from
Mhm.
cousins, just full family, friends, etc. All of a sudden, it was just like, my wife, mainly my wife, just ended up spending hours and hours wrapping all these gifts. And
Mhm.
at the end of that, she was like, "Well, this and that," and I was like, "Well, why are we even doing that?" And it's like, "Well, I wanted them to just to be nice," and it's just like, "Yeah, but at some point, this isn't nice to you."
Yeah. And I have to really think about that and really pray on it because if it's the thing that I have done in the past, is it really serving me? And is this really the lesson that I want to teach my children, that you have to, unless you make it perfect and the twinkly lights are just so and the this, and is that what's really important? Yeah. I mean, it's fun,
Maybe let's wrap a couple and
but
just make
let's,
them beautiful, 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 and
yeah,
others like maybe some others just go in gift bags,
yeah.
and we just have a nice night together.
Totally. Yeah. So it's just meeting that. But that's part of, hey, I want to give. I want people to be happy. I want to actually give good gifts too. Like, I'm not, if I give a gift, I'm not going to just, I will give a gift card or whatever, but it's nice if I can find something that's personable or personal, but it's hard. It's hard. I think for me, especially, like, I want to show that I care, and that is some people's love language, is to receive a good gift. So I
That's
want to
true.
respect that.
That's true. Sometimes though, that could cut into other ones like quality time.
Mhm.
It's just like, well, where's mom? I don't know. She's been wrapping presents for 4 hours. It sure would be nice to just kind of hang out by the fire and just have a nice night too. And so those are balances. We're kind of
Yeah.
getting off a little
So
bit
that
here.
chronic, well, I think it's
Nervous
important to
system.
make a distinction because people will hear us saying, like, well, givers, don't be a giver and don't be a caretaker. It's like, no,
Long losers.
it's really important to be that person if that is what you want to do. And when is it not okay? Right? When is it okay, we're edging on this becoming pathological?
Yeah. And usually you don't know. And
Bring your mic down. It's
usually
just
you
like we
don't
can't see your face.
know. You don't know that you're imbalanced until you become imbalanced. I know that's a kind of a weird way to say it, but the line, you don't know where the line is, say in personal achievement until you exceed it.
Yep. And I'll hear that a lot. I'll hear, well, I used to have a ton of energy and I just pushed past and I just pushed past and I would just push past. And I was like, well, you just got to the end of where you can push past. You're now
Mhm.
in collapse.
Yeah. So, and we can use that. We can use that to our advantage. We have God-given abilities to go into kind of a peak performance mode, awesome. And we can use that, but we're going to have to use that strategically.
Yes. So let's go back to our friend, the mitochondria, which I love. Remember the
Friends,
mitochondria?
plural.
Friends. Thank you.
Mitochondrion would be singular, wouldn't it?
This
Is this
is
singular?
true. And I
Yeah.
love you for knowing that.
It's your jam?
It's my jam. Mitochondria is my jam. They're the little powerhouse center. They're little powerhouses in the cell. They make cellular energy, which ultimately make energy. So there's a big term coming through the kind of natural world. It's called adrenal burnout, right?
Burnout
Adrenal
versus fatigue?
fatigue, burnout,
Okay.
whatever. And it's it's an easy way to describe that feeling of energy just completely tanking out. However, what's really going on is cellular burnout, and stress actually shuts down energy production on the cellular level, which then, again, that's influenced by the adrenaline produced by your adrenals and the cortisol and all of those things. However, but this is why we'll see, for example, people will feel actually more exhausted after they exercise, and not just well, I'm tired because I just ran or whatever, but where they have exercised and now they're so exhausted that they cannot go on with the day. They have to actually take a nap before they can do something else.
So you're saying about reduced ability to recover.
Yes. And so that would be a sign of that exhaustion, or you can't even get up and complete your day without a nap. Or
That sounds awesome.
I do like
I want a
naps.
nap.
Okay, don't get me wrong, but you can't complete your day
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
without having a nap, or you feel tired as soon as you get up. And again, most people, it's like, okay, I could have slept a little bit longer. I've actually had a lot of great sleep during this break, which is awesome. However, you're still exhausted, even if you've slept, let's put a number on it, 7 to 8 hours. And seemingly you had restful sleep, and you still are waking up feeling like you need to, like, how quickly can I go take a nap, right? Yeah. Cell danger response, we've talked about multiple times. That is where the mitochondria themselves turn into a fight or flight kind of version. There's some sort of toxin that's usually involved that needs to come out of the body in order for them to switch back into the energy producing type of mitochondria. So these are all ways that we would know that somebody is going through burnout.
Is this like, so there's two ways that ATP can make, or your mitochondria can make ATP, which is what your muscles and cells actually use.
Adenosine triphosphate.
Yeah. So there's like anaerobic ATP that doesn't require oxygen that makes 2 units.
Okay.
And then there's aerobic that makes 20. So per unit of,
I
say,
don't remember the
glycogen.
exact units. Good that you might. Yes.
It's 2 or 20, I thought. But you get a 10x from aerobic.
Yeah. So if you burn
with oxygen,
you get more.
Yes.
What's your point?
I'm wondering if this has to do with that basically the ratio of anaerobic versus aerobic ATP production in the mitochondria is why we see a difference, this huge kind of X10X difference in energy with people that are facing this exhaustion.
Well, let's unpack that as best as I can. When we are in anaerobic ATP production, that means there's not a lot of oxygen available. So it usually leads to excess lactic acid production. One of the cofactors to break down lactic acid in the body is B vitamins and molybdenum, actually. Molybdenum. And
That's a hard one for me to say.
It is spelled molybdenum. That's how it's spelled. We have a 6-year-old, almost 7-year-old, and she made it into the first grade spelling bee, and we have been doing a lot of breaking down spelling of words. But molybdenum is one of my kind of secret weapons for getting lactic acid out of the body quickly, or if somebody is suffering from candida overgrowth, putting molybdenum on board to stop lactic acid fermentation, which happens by yeast, right? And beers can make it. Bread will go through that process. But yes, it is a poor energy converter. And then obviously it's painful to have that much lactic acid in your body as well. Yeah. I'm literally real time just kind of talking this through.
Yeah, now we're wrapping.
I think it's an interesting concept that maybe that's why that it has shunned what your theory is that
I'm just asking.
if somebody is
you go 2 to 20.
burnt out, Okay, let's think about this. If somebody is burnt out, they're low in mitochondrial cofactors such as the various B vitamins is a huge one. Molybdenum might be one of them.
Mhm.
Magnesium is definitely one of them. These are all ATP cofactors that you need to actually make cellular energy. Your theory is these particular individuals have burnt through their reserves of them. Now, that could be they're not eating. That could be that they're not digesting. That could be that they're not eating enough, right? There could be that they've also been exposed to a toxin. And so the supply and the demand are not meeting each other.
Yeah, because
But
you still
either
have
way, your theory, to summarize, is that that might be the reason why they have terrible exercise intolerance is because they've shunted from an aerobic process
aerobic,
to an anaerobic. So a with oxygen to a without oxygen.
right, which your
Bec-
body will naturally do
yes.
in
Once it's run out of
peak
fuel.
performance.
Yeah. Once it's
Yeah.
run out of fuel.
Well, yeah, or if your aerobic can't keep up, you would go into anaerobic, and so maximum effort, you would go into an anaerobic state.
Yeah.
Well, you can't sustain it, but it doesn't require oxygen, and so basically, it's like you're running a lot less. Your body is no longer running efficiently.
And this is actually something that we run into with myopathies, which are muscle disorders like muscular dystrophies. I have one called McArdle's, and that's what happens is I only have so much ability to run off of aerobic
Yeah.
processes. And so I build up tons of lactic acid in the body, and eventually that will lead to rhabdomyolysis and muscle breakdown. But I usually have something before I exercise. I warm up a lot slower than everybody else. I've compensated for it mostly, but if my body's under extreme cold or other types of stress, it makes that muscle disorder much worse. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. I mean, that's probably the mechanism behind it, but ultimately they've burned out. They don't have any storage of these extra particular elements that are helping that mitochondria run more efficiently.
I'm looking ahead on the notes, and it's like, you were saying on one of your notes here, rest is not laziness. And then, like, if we scroll down just a little bit on the notes there, it says that God built limits into creation. And this is something that's like really interesting because limits actually they're so frustrating sometimes when you come up against a limit in anywhere in life. And at the same time, limits are what they spawn creativity. And so instead of like, it starts with maybe a frustration, like, well, this is the most that I could get done in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you're like, well, that's frustrating. And the temptation is to like, well, I'll just work longer hours and kind of like sidestep that limit.
Mm-hmm.
But a more creative process would be, how could I get everything done in less time? And so these can come up with really novel ways of doing things. Say, like, maybe we're inventing a machine. Maybe there's a computer program. Maybe there's a system that you could build, and then you would be completely detached from this linear kind of thing of like, every hour I can do X amount of work, and now all of a sudden you're just like, well, wait a minute, I can go take a nap, and this machine is just going to do the work for me.
Rest is also neurological medicine. You need a certain number of hours of sleep. I'm looking at you, Richard Lockwood, to get your brain to repair and clean out. Okay. They're called the glymphatics. Isn't that fun?
Glim,
Glymph. Glymph is the lymph tissue of the brain, and they do
I didn't know that.
their detoxing in at night in sleep. You have to hit a certain level of sleep in order to get it done.
Well, let's actually talk about that. Like, I'm not currently working on any software programming, but when I was, you'd almost have to go through this process of kind of bashing your head against the wall, hypothetically, not literally, don't do that, but hypothetically, as you're trying to solve like a complex, like coding or programming, like a problem that's really hard. But you'd reach this point where you're just like, it's time to set it down. And then good night sleep.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, and next thing you know, the problem that vexed you for potentially hours you solve in like 5 or 10 minutes. And
Mhm.
so there is this irony that putting down your work and resting at specific periods of time will actually give your unconscious mind a chance to rebuild and come up with something very creative.
Yes. When we first started the company, I was working almost every single day. I just not seeing patients every day, but I was researching cases. I was
A lot of
doing
charting and
charting.
paperwork over the
I
weekends.
mean, it was so insane. And I remember you're finally like, I think you and the doctor that was working for us at the time was like, you have to take a day off. And I was like, there's just so much to do. Like, I can't take a day off. I have to work every day. And when I finally really started to take a Sabbath, started to take a day off, my
Increased
productivity
when you were back.
increased massively.
More work done
Mm-hmm.
in 5 or 6 days than you did in 7 and staying up late. So almost even like trying to get 8 days out of the week.
Yep.
So there is this way that it's like keeping and going in the same system. It's like, no, I don't need to like walk to my destination that's several hundred miles away. I'm going to get a good night's sleep and I'm going to fill up the car and we're just going to drive there.
Mm-hmm.
And I could walk for a whole week or I could drive for a few hours.
Yeah.
And end up in the same, well, maybe more than a few hours, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so rest is different than what can we call it when people are just, we were talking about the beginning, it's like rest is very different than I'm taking me time, or like however you were saying it. What is that called? So let's define that.
Avoiding and procrastinating.
So yeah, rest is very different than procrastination.
Yeah, so there is this way that and I can do it too, and you even said that too. And then also there's certain things that aren't really restful. Like say you could spend all day scrolling social media on your phone and not really feel rested.
Uh-huh. In fact, you might feel more excited
Angsty
and more cortisol and more like all of those things.
Yeah, the world's on fire and
yeah,
I'm the one to fix it.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to fix it, but you're
certainly gonna
getting worked up about it. It
Yeah.
thinks it's going to fix it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my emotions are gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I would just say like number one, yeah, there's some people that have like almost zero responsibilities in their life, but their emotional state is one of extreme stress and distress. And
Yeah.
that is where it's like, no, you need to get up and go solve some things. Go
Mhm.
run around the block, go lift some weights, go accomplish a goal. And so there is this way that rest can become procrastination.
Yeah. So rest versus procrastination is huge. Rest is, as we said, it's a neurological medicine. Boundaries are biological protection.
Yeah.
Boundaries are biological protection. Let's talk about that a little bit more. When we put a boundary up, a boundary is not a wall. A boundary is a semi-permeable membrane. We talk about this in the book. That means we decide at any moment what's coming in and what's going out. And that could be moment to moment. You could walk into a party and decide, wow, this is great, until it's not great. And then you can say, well, I think we should leave now. I don't need to be here.
I think we should have left earlier.
Right? That's usually what you say. Or I don't know. I say that too. I'm not the...
You've hit your sell-by date.
8:30, 8:45.
No, I just mean like, parties. Sometimes
I'm using it as a fun example because we're trying to be fun people here, not so serious. But
I'm so fun.
It's a great example of when you know it's time to leave, and if you force yourself to stay longer and you should have gone, you will be paying the consequences for that.
Yeah. But there's also like longer tail. So I'll give you an example. Like we flew out of state to see some elderly relatives, and biologically, I should not have gone to that party. I was already tired. Flights got canceled and delayed, and then this and that, and connecting flights and luggage and this and that, and the rental car and all the things that you get when you're kind of traveling on Christmas. Long term, though, long tail, I was supposed to go to that party because it might be the last chance that I get to see some of these people. Like, I don't want to get that phone call and then just like, should have gone.
Yeah.
And so that would be an example of like short tail. I'm short on sleep. I'm probably going to catch a cold.
And you did.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking that at the time, but like, I was like, we're powering through. But you know what? I caught a cold. I was short on sleep. So biologically, it would have been a good idea to just not even go to that.
And we will override.
Life fulfillment wise, glad I went.
Yeah. And we will override those boundaries. And I think it's okay temporarily.
Right.
In some situations. And
I spent a week paying for it.
I spent a week paying for it too, for sure, with him.
No, you were wrecked too. She was really tired too.
Then we have God building limits into creation. And that goes with the book of Genesis, right? So in Genesis, he talks about how the earth was created in the first 6 days, and humans and animals and all the things he created. And on the seventh day, he took a rest.
You know what's really actually, there's 2 things. Number 1, the ability to rest is a sign of completion, and something that you have built right will not need continuous, like, second by second intervention, meaning I shouldn't have to get out of my car and go push it down the road. Like, it's supposed to drive, and so a well done creation will have a level of autonomy.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm thinking about that. And when we talk about the burnout cycle in our book, Heisman,
Oh, you did it. You did
I
it.
did it, but actually
Is it kinda
it's
working?
kind of
Are
working.
you raising the roof?
Fire your doctor. Our book, we have a whole section in there about burnout. And I've got to turn the, there you go.
No,
Don't
I
do that.
don't focus on me here. We're talking about
It's
burnout and the screen is just,
it's
like, zeroing in
it's
on
like
me.
the cat
I
who
don't
gets caught doing something they're not supposed to do. That was you in that moment. Burnout, and it came right to you.
this this
But in the
computer
book,
doesn't
we
know my
really talk
life.
about that burnout
Yeah.
cycle and how you have to actually train the nervous system that it has come to completion. So this was actually something that we were really poor on as well, which is celebrating our victories. For
Yeah.
example, once we published our first book, I won't do the hand symbol again, but the one that's behind me, Fire Your Doctor, it took us 5.3 years to write that book and edit it and do the whole thing until it came out, until we had that baby holding in our hands, right? What did we do to celebrate? I can't even remember what we did, but we did do something. Yeah. And it was just something really simple, but also you
Yeah.
need to celebrate those wins. It's not like, all right, and on to the next, right?
You know what? We were talking about work, rest, and procrastination. And like, there's times that I'll have like what I would call medium or long tail kind of projects. And there's a lot of them. And some of them are small, very small, but they're just kind of unfinished. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have cabinets, they're oak cabinets in our kitchen. And a couple of the cabinets had these hinges that were starting to wear out. And it's like, I don't really think it's worth like redoing the entire kitchen, so we're just going to get hinges. The hinges are older and it was harder to find the right ones that matched and everything and whatever. And so I'd made a few attempts to go to the hardware store and get ones that matched and they didn't quite work. And then ended up with at least a couple months with one of the cupboard doors just kind of off. And I was just kind of continuing, but it really, when I finally was just like, you know what? It ends today. And I went to a new hardware store, started over, and just like, we're going to get the right one. And you know what? It was the right one. I slept better that night.
That's
I
interesting.
actually did. I noticed I was like, because sometimes, I mean, physically going to a hardware store and stuff like that and getting the time, it's like it might be another couple weeks until I had even the time to kind of go out and find that right one. It's not something you just go on Amazon and tell me what hinge this is from 1993 and make it actually match. It won't.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had to actually just spend the time. And so very frustrating to me and not even a big thing. But I think sometimes when I find myself in that continual stress state, it's because there's a bunch of these little things that are just nipping at my heels.
Yep. I was just going to say that it's this incompletion that's in the
Hmm.
background that might not be the forefront, but you cannot let your mind rest until it's done. And also, in this particular case, you're running into like the cabinet door all the time, or you're running into the not cabinet door all the
Yeah.
time,
So,
reminding you of your failure to find the correct hinge, right? So it's, yeah, it's totally like that. And that's why I'm so satisfied by crossing things off lists, because
that's
it's like, I need that completion. Okay, I've handled it,
that's what I'm saying.
as I'm staring at a sticky note right now with a lot of things
Hey, or
on
is
my
that
list.
proprietary?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just all the things.
Yeah. So I would say like sometimes I won't even be consciously aware how much something meant to me until it's off the list.
So true.
Like I did not think that I would have such a sense of relief and satisfaction.
Yeah. I like to accomplish things quickly so that I don't have to keep them on my mental list for a long time. Like, for example, cleaning out the kids' clothes and getting them over to donate. It's just like, great, they're in the car, like they're going. And it's just like, as soon as I do it, I want to take it to completion. I want to take
I
it to
understand that.
100%.
I understand that. I think the problem that you run into is there's sometimes and a lot of things in life that are no, you're done when God says you're done.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, it will take exactly 45 minutes to run the wash cycle, drying cycle, and this, 15 minutes to fold the clothes, and in 1.5 hours, I have done the laundry. There's a lot of things in life that are really long tail, and you're done. You're out of the wilderness when God says you're out of the wilderness. For instance, like, I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to do this. And it's like, we can't just be like, all right, time to just go to the store and, I'm going to make the order and like whatever. Or like, or even something like get a degree. It's like that could be something that you could kind of put on a schedule, and 4.2 years, I will have this and it will be accomplished. It's accomplished, like, say, getting married, having a family, maybe long tail projects that you don't know what you don't know.
I love that saying that Tony Robbins was saying. He's like, most people underestimate or overestimate what they can do in a year and
Yeah.
underestimate what they can do in 10 years,
Yeah. I think it was 5 years, but whatever. Yeah. Meaning
five,
that
10.
I have this idea that I'm going to have my life completely solved in 1 year, but it's like, wait a minute. No, in 5 years, you could transform your entire universe.
Yeah. There's a couple studies showing that every cell in your body turns over every 7 years, which is kind of cool to
So,
think
like,
about.
upside down.
No, meaning like you have all new cells in 7
Yeah.
years. It's like I love that idea. It's like, okay, what I do now, 7 years from now is going to affect the whole thing. Like you could have a transformed body in 7 years. I don't know. Interesting concept,
It's
right?
kind of fun.
Yeah. So we've got a couple quotes here. I did lots of different versions of these quotes because I just found so many good ones. So let's talk. I like this one. Exodus 18. This is 17 through 18. What you are doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out.
This is kind of was it the last episode that I was talking about rest as faith?
Yeah.
Yeah, not procrastination. And so what is it? I don't know. It depends on the day. Maybe today I might be procrastinating, and another day I might be acting in faith and resting. Procrastination is in like, what if I fail? Oh no, what if I fail? I'm not going to try.
I'm not going to try. And the overwhelm, and that overwhelm paralyzes you into a state of, I'm just going to like,
And then you're just kind of resting in stress.
yeah.
You're not
It's-
really resting.
Yeah.
And then there's if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I got to do everything. I can't trust anybody. I can't trust God. Nobody's ever going to provide for me. I'm always going to be alone. Everybody's going to abandon me. So I'm just going to work myself to death. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's not faith either.
Yeah.
And so there is this way that faith is stepping out boldly and going and doing the hard things and then setting it down.
Very much so. I'm still working that one out. I might be working that one out for a while, but it's true.
Yeah.
Mark 6:31, this is the NIV. Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest.
Come to me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give thee rest.
Yeah, I like that. We have that in Matthew 11:28. You want to read that one? That's it. That is what you just read, but read the whole thing. Matthew.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just like quoting, but I was doing more of King James. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So who's saying that?
Jesus is the one speaking. And notice he doesn't say that his yoke is absent.
What's a yoke?
A yolk is like the center of an egg, and it's where all the genetic material.
No.
No, okay. A yolk.
YOKE, not yolk.
YOKE.
YOKE yolk,
That
as
sounds like
opposed to YOLK yolk.
no. Anyway, whatever. So a yoke in this sense is like what a horse or an ox would wear as a harness when pulling a sled or some type of or a plow or
Yeah.
a cart.
Yeah.
Or a chariot. I'd rather pull a chariot if I got to choose.
Mhm.
And I'd rather be like a stallion rather than like a cow. Choosing my battles here, choosing my adventures. It's like I'll wear the yoke. I'll be like a war horse pulling a chariot, like Ben-Hur, Heston.
Jesus is saying, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened,
Heavy laden, yeah.
laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. So he's actually saying, take this duty, like take life upon you.
Take this responsibility.
Take this responsibility. Is he saying check out and procrastinate? No.
And avoid your problems for the next 10 years.
No, he's actually saying like, you're going to actually take some things up.
But you're also going to let some things go.
And you're going to let some, because you're going to learn from me, he says. For I am gentle and humble in heart, meaning he's not like a dictator, like a whipping you, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah. I love this. So this is the amplified version. Come to me, all who are weary and heavily burdened by, and he uses religious rituals that provide no peace. That's the other part. People are actually burdened by church. They're burdened by the religion of
Oh, there's a lot of religion.
lot
A lot
of
of them don't, especially in our region. I would say most of the religions don't involve church.
yeah.
Like, all sorts of things can become rituals. Like, I must drive this kind of car, and like, I've got to go do this, or I've got to go do that, and I've got to do this, and I've got to have this type of bank account and
Mhm.
this type of house, and like all these things. And it's just like, okay, well, you could just as well like kind of throw a newt and a batwing in the cauldron.
You're going to worship something. What
Yeah,
are you worshiping?
right,
What are you worshiping?
right.
Okay, so come to me, all who are weary and heavily burdened by the religious rituals that provide no peace, and I will give you rest, refreshing your souls with salvation. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, following me as my disciple, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest, renewal, blessed quiet for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and my burden is light.
Meaning, after you try it, it won't be that bad.
Yeah. And finally, we have Matthew 11:28 in the Message version. So listen to this one. Are you tired, worn out, burnout on religion? Come to
Or the
me,
world.
or the world, which is its own religion.
The world over. Well, yeah, I mean, going to the bar every weekend, and I'm going to just dress all this way and go and try to impress
Hmm.
people and have fun. And that's
Yeah.
all, those are all rituals too.
Yeah. Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch. That's the message.
That's fine.
It's fun. So even Jesus called capable people away for constant output, from constant output. Limits are not failure, they are wisdom.
Yeah, there's this way that it's like farming analogy. You've got to clear your land, you got to get rid of your weeds, you've got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to plant that seed. There's also a time that if you're just out there every single day, just like trying to force this seed to grow, that you're just wasting your time.
Totally true.
At some point, it's
100%.
like, all right,
Yeah.
let's water it and just wait.
Let's just water it and wait, and some miracle will grow. Hopefully, you planted the right seed too.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that matters.
Like, whoops, I planted weeds.
I hate when that happens.
I wanted to get rid of that, but I ended up planting more of it. So much.
But we're talking about planting like plants outside. We're not talking about our emotional lives or our spiritual lives.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Just plants outside.
You know, I'm going to get rid of bad people through bitterness.
That has worked, hasn't it?
So it's just great. Yeah.
There's heavy sarcasm in that, just in case you don't know. That
No,
has never worked.
I'm just saying that, like, you know, if you're planting that seed of bitterness, then eventually you will become the bitter person that you don't like.
Yep. Yes. Speaking of that, you know the expression, you are what you eat?
Yeah.
Well, detox isn't just about what you eat. That's what we're going to talk about next time.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, episode 31 in the bag. Thank you so much for
There's
joining
no bag.
us.
It's saved on a server.
In the cloud.
Cloud
as they
is just
say.
somebody else's computer.
I know.
I'm nice.
Okay.
All right. I love you. I love
That's
you.
enough.
Let's.
I'm cutting this guy off.
Okay, whatever.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Fire Your Doctor.